What is up, YouTube? Mr. Keen coming at you live, not from the studio, but from the classroom today. Anyways, thank you for joining me. Today we're going to be doing some algebra review. It will be necessary for our half-life calculations in the next lesson. So, if you're one of those people that is like, I hate math, I'm not good at math, I'll never be good at math, well, today is your last day of saying that ever. Today you're going to be better than 90% of adults in America at math because I'm going to teach you algebra, okay? I'm going to show you a new operation that you may have not heard of before. Okay, so the whole idea of algebra is to solve an equation. And the reason why it's useful is because if there's something you don't know, but you know everything else, then you can rearrange the equation to give you the number that you don't know. So to represent an unknown, we use a variable. Variable means it can represent any number. So we usually use x because it's the least used letter in the alphabet. Anyways, so let's say you want to know 3x equals 24. What does x represent? So to do formulas, it's all opposites. If you do the opposite of the operation, then it'll undo it. So like, for example, if 3 times x equals 24, then to undo the 3 times x, you divide by 3. Because the opposite of multiplying is dividing. So if x is divided times 3, you divide by 3 to undo it. So if you divide both sides by 3, you get x equals 8. And that would be the answer. So we're going to practice. If x plus 5 equals 10, then what should you do to get x by itself? Hint, you want to do the opposite of addition, okay? So if x plus 5 equals 10, then what's the opposite of adding 5? Subtracting 5, okay? So what you do is you would subtract 5 from both sides. So x plus 5 minus 5 is x, and 10 minus 5 is 5. So x equals 5. That's the idea of algebra. You're getting x by itself, so you can figure out what it means, and you do the opposite of whatever is attached to the x. Okay? Next, we're going to do 3x divided by 10. Okay? So, what should you do to get x by itself? If you have 3x divided by 10 equals 12, the first thing you could tackle is the divided by 10. So, if you want to get rid of the 10, right now 3x is being divided by 10. So do the opposite of dividing by 10. The opposite of division is multiplying. So you would multiply both sides by 10. So 3x divided by 10 times 10 would be 1. So it would balance out. So it would just divided by 10 times 10. That balances out. They cancel out. So you're left with 3x equals 12 times 10, which is 120. So now here's what we got. We have 3x equals 120. The idea is if you want something by itself, you have to do the opposite. So now we have 3x equals 120. Now you have to do the opposite of multiplying by 3. The opposite of multiplying by 3 is dividing by 3. So 3x divided by 3 leaves you x, and 120 divided by 3 is 40. So that is the answer. That's how you do algebra in a simple way. You do the opposite operation. But there's a problem that would screw over most adults in America. If the x was in the exponent, you didn't know what the exponent was, how would you solve it? For example, like 128 equals 2 to the power of x. What would you do? You may be screwed because you don't know the operation. You may be thinking square root, but that's only if a 2 is in the exponent. Right now we have an x in the exponent. So that's why I want to teach you about logarithms today. Logarithms, or logs for short, is the opposite operation to an exponent. It's basically how you undo an exponent. Please write that in your notes, okay? That is how you do logs, okay? So log is useful because it's the opposite of a exponent. So please write that down. Next, I'm going to show you how to convert stuff to log form. So like here's an equation. We don't know x. We have 2 to the power of x equals 124. Here's how you do it. To convert it to log form, you need to, for the calculator, you type log, and then in the subscript or the base, what happens is the 2, since it's attached to the x, but it's below the x, the 2 gets pushed down. Okay, so the 2 gets pushed down. It's not working. I'll show you on here. So the 2 get pushed down. So the 2 gets pushed down, and then the x and the 128, they swap places. Okay? So log form, you have the log and then the base. So the base is the number that's attached to the exponent. So the 2 gets pushed down, and then the 128 and the x swap spots. So log 2 128 equals x. So that's how you convert this one into log form. So the 2 gets pushed down, and then the 128 and x, they swap spots. So now the 2 will be next to the 128, and the x will be on the other side. And then, for your calculator, there's 2 different ways you can do it. If you have this button, then you can just type 128 and hit log 2. But if you don't have this button, which are most calculators will not have it, sadly, you'll do log 128, the top number, divided by log 2, the bottom number. So you find the log button, log, and then 128 divided by log 128 divided by log 2. And then you hit equals. And you should have gotten 7. Okay? Going back to our original problem. So if you did log 2, and then remember the 124 swap spots with that exponent. Log 2 124 equals x. So on your calculator, you do log 1024 divided by log 2. And you get equals, and you get 10. We're going to try it again. Now I want you to solve for x. We were doing a lot of log 2's because that's what we'll need to use for half-life. But you can put the log base to be anything. So now I want you to try and put in your calculator. There are 2 different ways to solve it, but please pause this video and try and get the number now. Remember, there are 2 different ways to solve a log. You could put it in like this, log of 500 divided by log of 2, or you can use the button, if you have it on your calculator, log 2 500. And if you do it right, you should get 8.97. So you either put this in your calculator or this. The whole point of it is because x is in the exponent. Now I'm going to add a step. Try and figure out this one. Now it's log 2 900 equals x plus 5. Please pause the video and try and do this one now. Hint, you'll want to do this one first. You want to do this first. Hopefully you notice if you do it right, log 2 900, if you type on the calculator, you get 9.8, which is equal to x plus 5. And we want x by itself. So we get rid of the plus 5. So we do minus 5 to both sides. And we get 4.8. Okay? Next. The whole reason why we're learning them is because if x is an exponent, you'll need a log. So here's the last problem for the algebra review. Can you solve for x if 2 to the power of x divided by 7 equals 25? Okay, try and do this one now. 2 to the power of x divided by 7 equals 25. Hint, you'll have to convert it to log form first. You need to know how to do that. Look at your previous notes and then solve for x. Okay, pause view now and try and do it yourself. If you did it right, if you convert it to log form correctly, it should be the 2 gets pushed down here, and then the x to the divided by 7 and the 25, they swap places. So x divided by 7 goes over here, and then 25 will go to the left. So log 225 equals x divided by 7. So you'll put this on your calculator, and you'll get 4.64 equals x divided by 7. And then if you multiply both sides by 7, you get 32.5. That is the answer. Thank you so much, everyone, for sticking with me. Have a great Shabbos day.